Fred,
Hey,
thank you for coming.
thanks for having me.
I'm really happy that you agreed to the invitation of the podcast.
I'm happy I got the call up.
Look, I know it's odd. I know it's uncommon, but when I read your resume, I'm like, oh my god, you absolutely have to come. And funny story. So you and I, we don't know each other that well, right? We know each other through your husband,
Yes,
Chris,
Chris.
which is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
We met me and Chris maybe 10 years ago. And Chris is the fittest, fastest, and probably the strongest athlete I know.
Did he tell
Until-
you to
no.
say these things?
Until I started following you on Strava and I read your resume and I was prepping for this interview, right? And I gotta admit, he's now in second place.
Ah,
He's not
that
gonna
makes
be
me feel
he's not gonna be happy about
so good. I'm gonna leave here and I'm just gonna rub it in his face.
it. Me too. We'll see his reaction, to be honest. But okay, I know you're a humble person. So it's not gonna come from you. It has to come from me. I'm gonna read the resume just to set the stage for everybody, all right?
Okay.
And I try to memorize it, but it was so like there's so much accomplishment here, so I'm gonna have to read it. And correct
Okay.
me if I'm wrong, all right?
Okay, I will.
So Frédérique Rajotte you are a former national rugby player who represented Canada on the international stage, including at the 2017 Rugby World Cup in Ireland, the U20 Nations Cup in London, and within Canada's High Performance Sevens Academy in Langford, British Columbia. At the university level, you built one of the most accomplished resumes in Canadian sport. U Sport Rugby Player of the Year, RSCQ MVP, First Team All-Canadian, Female Rugby Athlete of the Year. Those distinctions place you among the very best university athletes in the country. On top of that, you have your corporate job today. You're also the head coach of women's rugby program at Cégep André Laurando. And you were named head coach of the year in 2022 and 2023.
Yep.
Lastly, you work as a sports commentator for international rugby event, including the Paris Sevens tournament broadcasted on Radio Canada. Anything else? Did I miss anything?
That sums it up really well.
It's crazy.
It feels like I'm in a different universe and I've died and went to heaven and someone's talking to me up there. It's an interesting feeling.
It's insane. Congrats.
Thank you.
But what I want to know, and the most important thing of this interview is I want to know where all of this come from and how do you deal with it on a daily basis, right? In your relationship with friends, at work, how do you stay motivated? How do you find the time to still working out because you're doing so much? Yeah. So I think let's start from the beginning.
Okay, let's do it.
Where does that come from? Where does this drive actually comes from?
I think what I always go back to is how I was brought up, and the credit has to go to my parents ultimately. I'm fortunate enough to have parents that brought us up with extremely great values, an awesome support system, high standards. So, we had to really be good at what we were doing and put in the effort. And so all those things were really passed down to me by my parents and set that foundation.
So you said effort. I think that's a key word. Effort is how was effort rewarded into your home?
I think there's a lot of talk that goes with like parenting techniques and parenting styles, and especially now I feel like there's like so much controversies and parenting styles. And if I look back at it and I see what my parents did, it was just such a healthy environment of I could challenge them, they could challenge me. They were present at my competitions, and they were giving me the opportunity to participate in anything that I wanted to do. The door was open to trying out any type of activity. And they really just told me, go full out, put in the maximum effort. And if you're happy, we're happy. And it's like, that's
So no pressure, no added pressure.
no
On
crazy added pressure. I think there was also some high standards in relation to academics, of course, because yes, I was gifted at a young age with good athletic abilities.
Better than Chris.
But they were also extremely, I guess, pushy on the fact that sport wasn't going to last forever, and that ultimately you had to have a really good academic background or something to fall back on.
But were you always like a really intense sport? Were you always that good? Did it come later in life, or were you always like that talented kid, sporty kid?
I think it's a bit of a mix of both. I was put in so many different things when I was younger, and clearly my parents saw that I had so much energy and couldn't sit still. And so I tried all the types of sports you could possibly think of. I was in figure skating, I was in speed skating. My dad really wanted me to have a good running base because he used to do track. And so I think I was obviously gifted because genetics made it so. And yeah, giving the opportunities, I realized, okay, if I'm applying myself, I have natural speed. I was very much kind of small and light when I was younger, so that definitely helped being shifty and agile. It's a bit of a mix.
And did your parents were, like you mentioned, your dad did track, but did you notice them growing up do some sports themselves? Were they active?
Yeah, definitely very active. It's always great to see role models in the same household. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, very present in our lives. She instilled really good, healthy habits in terms of nutrition and all that. My dad, who is I guess he is a workaholic, we can say it, and I think he might be proud to state that, but he was extremely hardworking, and he managed to find the time to still be active, which is awesome. He, played in so many hockey leagues. He played football back in the day, a sprinter. So he kind of did it all. And clearly, now that I'm speaking about that, I'm kind of having a feeling, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm really following in his footsteps now. Yeah.
Role model plays a big role. I think it's a significant part of learning as a child, I think.
For sure.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm a parent now.
I know, you are. And that's...
You're going to pick up one thing or two.
Do you find that your kid is grabbing things from what you're doing and adopting those
8.
Habits? Yeah.
He's a tornado.
Yeah.
That's his job. He's 8. My daughter, she's 15. So she's really in that in between. Like I'm still her hero, but at the same time, you can feel the pivot.
Of course.
So it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
We'll see. But so you played a bunch of sports. So at what age, at what time did it become a bit more serious, a bit more focused, a bit more part of your life, right?
Yeah. I got into soccer. Soccer was my kind of number one sport. When I really got into soccer and started playing on different leagues, played co-ed, went up a couple of levels, that I realized, okay, I know my role on the team. I love being a teammate. That's when I really realized that I was having fun with people and that individual sports weren't really my thing. I think from the get-go, I was born, I think, to be a team player and part of something and share it with people. But yeah, so soccer was the base, which is a great sport, right? Like it's so simple. You get kids in that. I was very young when I started playing soccer. And then I tried a bunch of different stuff, but then ultimately resorted back to soccer. And before that, if I can share a little anecdote, I was playing soccer and I was entering high school, and I grew up in Markham, Ontario. So kind of a francophone, going into an English school system, not knowing a lot of people. I went in full throttle with sports. So I joined the field hockey team. I joined the rugby team. I participated in a fitness class, which really changed my life. Like I think that was like a pivoting, like a big moment for me. When I joined that fitness class, I learned weightlifting. And I was 15, so your daughter's age, or 15, 16. And Miss Viney, I will remember her forever. She really, hi Miss Viney. She really taught me the good basics of what weightlifting is. And as a young girl, not having any of that background, and like thinking that it was made for more males, it kind of opened up my eyes. And we took before and after shots. So the before at the beginning of the year, or after the beginning of the class, and then after. And we were putting in effort. I'm, weightlifting, trying to test myself, put up some big weights and push myself. And I have great nutrition back at home. My mom's cooking good meals, and we have the little nutrition class on the side. So it's becoming, the muscle is getting built. And at the end of the class, I look at the pictures, and I could sense myself getting stronger. But then I look at the pictures, which is a visible transformation. And that's when I was really like, okay, things are happening in my body. And it wasn't necessarily like, wow, I look great. Yes, there was a bit of that. But it was really like, I have built something here. And I can see how effort right now is showing concrete results. And that was really empowering.
Really? More? Yeah. Would you say that it had a bigger impact than maybe winning at soccer or being good at soccer? Maybe more of, because this is a very individual sports.
It is.
And you saw results and it clicked.
It clicked, and it also was transferable to sports. I think that was the biggest thing. It set such a good base, and I might have just been, not as I didn't have that much body awareness before that. And weightlifting really taught me how to kind of control myself, be intentional with my movements, and then I was really able to apply that to soccer, and then ultimately rugby.
So at what time is that the moment you pivoted towards rugby? Is it like the following years?
Yeah, so when I was in the whole soccer world, I soon realized, how old was I? I started playing rugby when I was 16. So around that time, I was taking up probably more space. I was, a bit more muscular, and I wasn't afraid to be rough on the soccer field. Like I didn't mind throwing in the elbow, and sometimes it would ultimately result into a yellow card, and then I would have to sit off. And then I was like, dang it, like, why can't I just express myself fully, and why are there rules? And when I heard the announcement on the PA system in my high school of, we are looking for girls that have experience in soccer, that can run, to join the rugby team, I was like, I think I'm going to try it out. Because it was ultimately how I was scripted. I was just like, okay, I'll try it out. Like, I'll raise my hand and I'll show up and I'll see what happens. Worst case, I hate it. And then what? And I showed up at the 7 a.m. I think it was 7 a.m. tryout on the gym floor with Mr. Chatty and Mr. Turner. my 2 high school coaches, and it changed my life right then and there.
Clearly.
I quit soccer.
You quit
I
soccer
quit soccer.
at the time. Done.
Yeah.
Pivot.
Yeah.
Full-time rugby.
Full pivot. I joined I was still playing on the field hockey team, but rugby was it. I could sense that it was my
Clearly, you did
calling.
something. You did the right choice.
Yeah, no regrets. My gosh, thank God I went.
But that goes back to your foundation or your education on just trying things out, right?
Yes.
And just seeing the model of like trying, being active. Let's see if it works. It works. If it doesn't, no pressure, but put on the effort, right?
Exactly. And then not being scared, but going back to that, having a really good parental structure at home, I knew that if I failed, my parents would still love me, and I'd be okay, and I'd try something else and make it work.
And then the foundation that you built, or the physical awareness, the strength that you built at the gym, really translated well at the rugby level.
Yes. And I was still very small. Like, I was quite petite when I was younger, but ultimately was able to build muscle mass fast. I would say at the national level, that's when it came to play that je devais manger des croûtes.
Yes.
Because I was quite small, and it was big on explosivity. I had to gain some mass to be part of the national level. Yeah.
So you're there at high school, pivoting to rugby, training at the same time, quit soccer. I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, but shortly after that, the sports became, or at some point it became very serious in your life to achieve, like between high school and the university level, there's like what, a gap of 5 years technically. So I guess at some point in those 5 years, it became your whole life, your whole identity, right?
Yes.
So what shift, what happened between it's fun, I'm trying things out, to, oh crap, I'm in the national team? Like there's a 5-year gap, which is not very long to achieve.
Not very long, yeah.
I'm having fun to achieve.
To being more specialized in the sport too, yeah. High school was a great experience for me. I know there's some people that are like, high school was the worst. I had such good friends. I had such a good gang, and I had so many positive role models that were females that were part of the rugby team that I looked up to, and I was like, wow, these are women. Like, I love their bodies. They're strong. They're capable. And I believe one of them was playing for a club, Markham Irish, at the time. And I joined the club, the Markham Irish, so social kind of setting. And I was 16 at the time. Mr. Chatelain, my rugby coach at the high school, was also part of the Markham Irish organization. He was in the referee union. So he really encouraged me to try out and pushed me. So thank you for those types of people that also give you kind of a nudge on the back. I went to the tryout, loved it, was a bit uncomfortable, obviously, because you have to think about how I'm the Frenchie in an Anglo kind of world. And I was asked to play senior, which is technically illegal, I think, because I was 16 years old playing for a senior.
We'll edit that part, Norris.
Playing for a senior team, which you have to be 18. But I think back in those days, things were
17, 18. Okay.
Same thing. And I loved it. I excelled at that, and somehow my name got thrown in a hat, or someone out there was telling me that I need to try out for Rugby Ontario, which is the provincial rugby team. And I had like big imposter syndrome. I was like, wait, I just started this sport. I don't even know all the rules. I feel like how could I go play on a provincial team? And Mr. Chatelain, I'll remember, he also pushed me. And this is such a vivid memory in my head because that tryout with Rugby Ontario was a bit further out. So my mom drove me, and we were sitting in the car, and the practice had already, the warm up had already started. And I'm like shaking, freaking out. Like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. And my mom's just like, just go. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to be fine. I think my dad was there also, like, just credit to them, right, for making the time and showing up. And I tried out. Everything went pretty well for me, lots of fitness-based stuff. So that was my foundation too. I think my fitness was really my strong point. We had to hold a plank, and I won the plank competition.
There you go. Okay. Starting strong. And then fast forward, I make it to the Rugby Ontario team. I go to a nationals with them. I believe we placed in third or second place. And I was playing flanker. So in the rugby world, that is part of the forwards. That is part of the bigger bodies. And I was not a bigger body. Really?
But
okay.
I just went. I was aggressive. I would tackle. I would go for it. You told me what to do. I did it. And they were like, you just need to be super aggressive on the 10. As a flanker, you just go, you shoot, you tackle. It's like, okay, I'm going to do that. So I did that, and I think I had a pretty good tournament because one of the national coaches, the assistant coaches for the national sevens team, was present and pulled me aside, asked for my information, asked for my name, and he set up a time and a place to try out or to do testing to see if I was good enough to be carded, which is to be selected as part of the National Sevens rugby program. I've been speaking.
No, but that's
for a long
awesome.
time.
And you're like 17 now at the time, because you're not officially 18, or you're turning 18.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then not long after,
Yeah.
you accomplished everything I mentioned at the beginning. So the Youth Sports Rugby Player of the Year. You went to Ireland. You went to London. So just going back to, because I kind of know what it means, but I don't really know what it means. I obviously never won those kind of titles. But what does it mean for the people who are listening? What does it mean, a Youth Sport Rugby Player of the Year in Canada? What does it mean to win those type of titles? Like for you personally, but just give us the broad scope of that title itself.
Yeah. So the scope of the title is, Youth Sports is the organization of all university sports in Canada. Used to be the CIS, and then it had a rebranding, and I feel like I'm aging myself by saying that. And so Youth Sports hosts, galas for end of the year galas for players and teams, especially during the Canadian Rugby Championships, so the Youth Sports Championships. And I was nominated. My team at that point, I was in my fifth season at Concordia. So I did 5 full seasons at Concordia, and I was nominated, and I was flown out to Lethbridge, and I ended up winning the award. So what it represents is there's about 30, I believe, 30 teams across Canada in rugby, and there's about 30 people per team. So
Significant.
It's a good amount. And I was selected, and I was really happy because ultimately it reinforced the fact that I'm on the right track and I deserve my spot, and it's just nice to get recognition, right? After 5 full seasons as a university athlete, and putting in the effort day in and day out, and training with a high performance group as well. So
Yeah, because
It's very
everybody
heavy.
at that level,
Yeah.
everybody's good, right? So it's what differentiate you from all those good people. It's incredible. Congrats.
Thanks, OG.
And this is prior to the national accomplishment, right? Like the in Ireland and London. Is it London and Ireland comes after?
Oh my gosh.
Did I miss? Did I like? Am I confusing? So the awards itself at Concordia came prior to all those national recognition, or is it the opposite?
I'm like trying to
Or is
think
it like
of
at the same time roughly?
it
Because
was roughly at the same time. It was roughly at the same time because 2017 was the World Cup. And
yeah, we're almost the same age, so technically you're
yeah,
almost.
I'm
It's
bugging
it's almost the in between.
on
It's
the
very
timing of it
yeah,
all,
the
but
timing they're like really crunched
yeah,
together. But
yeah.
so how do you manage? So that's what so. Okay, let me take a step back. Most people that I talk to about training and about pressure and about you have a family, you have a job, you dealt with being a student athlete, so that's
Yep.
already a challenge. And on the same time, or almost the same time, you juggle with the national level sports, you're traveling. How do you, again, I guess you had a personal life as well, you had friends. So, how do you deal with pressure at that time? How do you manage it all? Because you went from high school, I'm having
Yeah.
fun, to national recognition in 5 years, traveling across the world, nomination after nomination, accomplishment after accomplishment, which is insane in this in like 7 years.
Yeah. I think I got used to a certain way of doing things and having such a packed schedule. And especially with the sevens program, what it really taught me was extreme discipline in the sense that, you show up, you're eating breakfast, you're on the field doing speed work, you're back in the gym doing weightlifting, and then after that you're on the field. Like it's just that was just crazy. And it was 5 days, 6 days of that, nonstop. So I think I had that built in. And I was just used to packing my schedule and just trying my best to deliver and have results ultimately. Pressure is a good thing. I've dealt with pressure a lot and it motivates me in a way. And it's definitely, to some it can be a bad thing, but it's like the whole stress talk. Some stress is really good and it depends how you manage it. But yeah, I'm wondering the same question to you because you're doing so much and you have 2 kids and I don't have kids yet. And I'm just like, how do you do
I
it?
don't have all those titles, all those accomplishments.
Titles, gosh, I can't even name the dates of when
That's
it all
insane.
happens. Like,
But were you always like that? Always like I'm always like when I was a kid, I was really I was all over the place.
Yeah.
But and I was a terrible
full of
kid.
energy.
Yeah, terrible kid. But at the same time, if I remember correctly, and even in high school, I was always very structured. Like
Right.
I could my agenda was always packed.
Yeah.
Even when I started working as a cook, I had 3 different jobs, 8 hours like double shift. I like the structure of it. I like the violence of it. I like the energy of it. So I was always that kind of guy, right? And today it changes a bit, but it's
Yeah.
changed a bit. Sorry, but I'm still like that today. Were you always like that too?
I think so. I was definitely always like that. I am a laid back person. I was just talking to my husband about that before. But I'm quite laid back. Like I like just taking it easy, and I'm sure I have like people laughing in the back of my head because I do have a packed schedule. I love seeing my friends. I like being present with them. I like working out. I like doing crazy things and signing up for things and going on trips last minute, and just like it's just ultimately living and appreciating all the moments. But I do think that it's because of the fact that I was like that when I was a kid. My energy was just like huge, like just crazy. And so I had to channel it in different ways, and I'm still doing that. But now the difference is obviously the energy is not the same, and I'm sure you feel it too. We really have to like think of what we really need instead of thinking of, oh shoot, I said yes to coaching, but I also have a work event, and okay, I'm going to make it work. And then I'm going to, I'm going to eat in the car, but then I also have to work out. So I might just bring my running stuff and do it, like it's crazy.
But you get it done.
But I get it done. And I personally feel good because I feel like I'm much more present now with my accomplishments and with my the things that I have going on, and I'm able to turn them into accomplishments or just things that I'm happy about. Yeah.
You said you're a laid back person, but
Yeah.
didn't you mention at the beginning when the cameras were off that you had a road rage?
Yes.
Yeah, but
And that never happens, but traffic in Montreal to get across
brings
town
the worst out of you.
brings the absolute worst. And Chris was just chill the entire time.
He's that
God
kind of
love
guy.
him.
That kind of guy.
Yeah.
I've been working on myself a lot on my intensity.
Yeah.
It had a huge impact in my life, right? In a good way and in a bad way, right? Some relationship I've suffered because of my intensity, because I'm always go, and I see your I mean, yes, you're laid back, you're in control, but I mean, to have done so much in so little time, clearly you have that mindset, that energy, that drive. How do you deal with this on a personal level, like with your friends? Are you able to take a step back? Not everybody's on the same pace. Not everybody is looking for the same thing as you. Like, how do you deal with your not on a professional level, but just on a personal level with your friends,
Yeah.
family, whatever.
Yeah, I think intensity has like lowered a little bit now. I'm choosing whether to put intensity or full effort into things, which is very much rewarding and awesome, because I'm choosing, like, I have agency over what I want to fully go into, fully commit, fully be disciplined, and that's extremely liberating right now. To go back to the friends, I surrounded myself with a lot of similar people. Like, the community that I've built, very much a lot of my rugby friends, and a lot of friends that I look up to, because they are extremely intense and they are extremely disciplined. Like, I have two of my friends in mind. Well, Alex Tessier, that's still part of the national team and like crushing it. And then I have Anais, that's just like awesome and going and doing all these things and coaching, and has always been the kind of Michael Jordan to me of the sport. And it's like those people, I'm like, wow, like they're putting in so much effort, so much discipline, and it's rubbing off on me. And I'm sure I bring it up as well.
Iron sharpens iron.
But there's not that much contrast, I would say, in terms of like my friends. I would say that it's probably more prevalent in work, because I have certain standards and I like performing and I like pushing the boundaries, and I don't settle necessarily. So I think it's more prevalent in my surrounding when I enter teams in a corporate setting, where I'm like, okay, well, what's next? Like, what can we do? And I'm curious and I'm asking questions. And when I see the big contrast of people that aren't necessarily like that, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
it's tougher. But in a sports setting, you get a lot of similar minded people that are very performance focused.
But did you have to cut some people off through the years? because now you're speaking of your circle, like your circle is done, like it's complete.
Mm.
But throughout the years, did you have to deal with it, or did you have, or it came naturally, like while you were raising the, like climbing the
Yeah.
ladder of sports?
I don't think I had to cut people off, surprisingly. Like there's no one that like that I can think of that was either toxic or negative influence, which I think
Maybe
is
not negative, but maybe not enough.
not enough.
Or
Yeah.
maybe no, that's not enough. But what I
Good.
mean is that they're not matching your energy or
The
your
same level.
intensity, right? The same level, which
Yeah.
is not necessarily a bad thing, right? I asked this question to George and Stefan in the prior podcast, and they were not on the same page, right? They were super, just like you mentioned, really take a step back. This is my friends. They're there for a reason. And I my other group of friends, which really intense, so we match there as well. And I'm like all by myself. I have like 4-5 people I reach out to. My circle is really small. I have a hard time managing my relationship that way. And maybe I'm the problem.
No, because there's a lot of people in my life in general, and like teammates that probably that stick to those like-minded people that are, and I think it's probably a healthy habit too, because you're like, I want to be just surrounded by those people that bring me up and that are very similar to me. I'm very fortunate to have like really awesome people in my life that, and I think it's also a testament to me ultimately, because I am a very much oriented like people person. I love having friends. I love making time for them. I love doing activities with them. Now it's like the whole entering the 30s and okay, what can we do before things start really slowing down? And it's not necessarily crisis, but it's just like, okay, like
Things are changing.
Yeah, things are changing, and I'm making new friends. Like I just made my neighbor, who is an awesome runner and awesome person. I always thought, like, at this point in my life, I'm not going to make new friends. I don't need anyone new in my life.
There you go.
She's awesome. She's intense. We go running. She has goals. She's driven. And that also makes me want to be like, oh, well, sports are over, but like I can also have goals that I can set and sign up for races like you do.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Do you have a race tomorrow? Is that what I heard?
I have a long training tomorrow.
A long training.
race
What's
tomorrow,
a long training? Maybe you can get Chris some ideas.
So I'm training for the UTMB Borealis in Mont-Tremblant, which is the first year UTMB is coming to Mont-Tremblant.
Very cool.
It's a 50K trail, but the elevation is another ball game, so I need to be on point. Yeah.
Holy elevation.
That's like 2,200 meters of elevation, something like that.
Oh my gosh.
So it's gonna take a toll.
So tomorrow's training is elevation training?
Elevation training, yeah. That's it. Yeah. It's supposed to rain. It's gonna be muddy.
But you like that.
I like that.
You're like
the
crazy like that. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna grind it out.
David Goggins style.
4 a.m. That's awesome.
I'm having fun.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you say that, like having fun.
Yeah.
If you're still having fun, and it sounds childish, but that's what matters. That's what matters.
It's all that matters at this point.
Yeah. And Chris and I were talking earlier, and it was like effort. And I said something like, but if I'm having fun doing it, that's beautiful. Like you're putting in the effort, but you're getting so much positivity while you're doing it, then like
sometimes we're missing, we're so oriented towards the goal, right? Towards winning and towards
results
that sometimes we forget about having fun, right? When I run, I'm like you see me on Strava. I'm not a fast runner. I'm average, and but I'm having so much fun. Just like this podcast, everybody's asking where we're going. What's the goal? Where we're going with it. There's no like I'm
Yeah.
not planning to be Joe Rogan. If it happens, well, I'll be happy. But I'm just having fun.
You're
I'm
just
meeting cool people, cool stories. I'm
doing it.
running in the mountains.
Mm,
I'm having a ton of fun. I'm not gonna win the race.
yeah.
Not even close. I'm gonna try to finish it, but I'm gonna have. So there's a runner that I really like. His name is Andy Glaze. Andrew Glaze.
Okay.
He has this quote that he wears on his hat and on his shirt, and it's "Smile or you're doing it wrong."
Mm,
And I really like that one. I really like it. Otherwise, why you're doing it?
yeah.
Right?
And
It's all
I
about.
can see that in what you bring, the energy and
That's the goal.
everything you do.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Empower people, right?
Yeah. And what going back to something you said like it's okay to not have goals or not necessarily like seek results right away.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect way to put how like transitioning from sport to now is for me. It's not necessarily always go go go, I need results, I need to do this, and I need a specific number attached or it's just signing up, doing something, or even in work, you're trying your best, you're doing your best, you're excelling, but sometimes it's okay to not necessarily be all in focused on the results because sometimes you lose sight of the
Having
present
fun.
moment and
X.
having fun.
But,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna challenge you on this, but I'm curious to see how well, clearly you won the coach of the year 2 years in a row, but being such a high performer athlete, and then your role is changing. You became the coach, right? At Cégep André Laurando.
Mhm.
How do you you were the athlete, right? And now you're the coach. How do you transition between results to
Mm.
teach and maybe empower, maybe having fun?
Yeah.
It's a lot. I don't. Well, I'll let you. Because it's a very different role, very different
It's
approach.
very
Now
different
you're not on
role.
the field, right?
And I wasn't sure necessarily if I was going to be cut out for the job because you hear a lot of like, oh, good players don't necessarily translate to good coaches.
Yeah.
A lot of mentors, a lot of my coaches that I was lucky enough to be surrounded with inspired me and made me realize just looking back at it, the impact that they had on me. And I was like, I want to be like that. And I want to see the big thing is I wanted to be a positive influence for young women in sports and young girls in sports. It was a big drive for me to say I want to be implicated in young women's lives and try to keep them in sports because there's that big stat of young women that drop out of sports and I thought, well, I know rugby, I am connected to that community. I still wanted to have a grasp on the rugby community even after playing. And it was the perfect segue to staying connected, pushing these young girls to be a better version of themselves, giving them hopefully a positive role model to look up to. And it's been an awesome experience. I've been coaching now for almost 7 years. So that's pretty crazy to say, but I love that team. We've built something really strong in that program, the only French rugby program in Montreal.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we're hopefully going to win the cup this coming season.
And I have no doubt about it. But so what's the culture like? Is it goal oriented? Is it fun oriented? Is it do your best? How do you?
Yeah, like my coaching
Yeah.
philosophy.
Like what's your
I was
brand?
part
Right?
of I got a lot of different coaches in my life, and one thing that I did not at all cost want to instill is a fear-based performance culture. I've experienced it I did not like it. I pushed through it and probably shouldn't have. And I wanted this to be, and we're talking about a CJEP. We're not talking high performance, but we're talking about a CJEP program that young girls go through, not for a very long time. Some come for 2 years, some come for 3. If I'm lucky, I get them for 4, but not a lot of them do. And so I wanted them to just have really good, positive memories about their time and their time playing sports. So my philosophy is caring for the human being that I'm dealing with in front of me, making sure that they're okay, making it a safe space for them to push themselves. Because I don't really love like mediocrity and just sitting back and doing the bare minimum. If you are accepting to be on my team,
You're gonna have to.
you gotta show up for your teammates and you gotta push yourself. So high standards, but a lot of support, a lot of love. And I'm saying that, and I'm like, that's my parents right there.
Yeah.
Kudos to
I'm
them.
listening. I'm taking notes, by the way. I'm gonna change my attitude toward my kids.
Yeah. But I do struggle with the fact that I need to be sometimes more intense with my players.
You need to be more.
Yeah, I think intensity and being like brute with them, because sometimes I'm like, this is just, you're figuring yourself out. Like, I don't want to
You're a chill
crush
coach.
I don't want to crush your soul. But I've received feedback that I definitely need to be a little bit more tough love, which is hard for me, but I think it's also been my work on for all my life, is just being assertive.
Really?
And it's assertiveness that I think I struggle with till this day.
But that's interesting. So you were able to, like, some super high performing athletes, they transition into coaching, and clearly it's working well for you. But some of them are like, they have a tough time because they're not on the field anymore, right? They can't do the work for the athletes, for the players, and you were able to manage and coach them and teach them all that energy, all that grit, all that mindset that you had, that you built to the girls. Really impressive.
Thank you. It's tough sometimes, it's tiring sometimes, but it's so rewarding just to see how they can excel.
And how do you, on a personal level, so you've been a high performer, an athlete all your life, and then suddenly, I guess it kind of stopped. Like one day you were in, one day you were out.
Yep.
Kind of, that's usually what we see in sports. And so how do you stay, I don't want to say motivated, but how do you say, like, I know you're active, I know you're running, I know you're training a lot, but now you don't have any cups, you don't have any training, you don't have any rugby camp. How do you stay driven?
Going back to something, it's not necessarily a challenge, because I'm extremely at peace, and I think it's because of the fact that I made that decision.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't injured. I didn't have a career-ending injury. I was at a point where I'm just like, especially with St. Anne's, Saint-Anne-de-Bellevue, my old club, I gave it my all. Rugby gave so much to me. I gave so much to rugby. I was extremely content and at peace to stepping away and discovering a new facet of my life, which is putting my drive and my high performance mindset to other things that I get to choose. So my marriage, my family, running, weightlifting, all these things that I can just say, hey, I can do it. I'd love to do a high rocks with Chris. Maybe you can. It's
recorded. Anything you want to say to him, it's right now. And
Chris, my dear
Chris says
love.
yes. I can see him nodding in the background. He says yes.
So many people have been like, try high rocks. Like you guys are perfect for it. I think that would be a nice little adventure or a little competition as But yeah, my drive is just,
It stays there. It
it
doesn't go
stays
anywhere.
there.
But you kept your flame, your fire towards training. Obviously, I see it on.
100%.
I'm following you, so I'm seeing it. But
Yeah.
do you miss a challenge sometimes? Do you miss competition? Do you find it elsewhere?
I'm extremely competitive with myself.
Just in general.
Like very competitive with myself. So if I'm going for a run, I'm like, oh, this is long. Like I'm like, nope, you can't stop. You got to keep going. You're going to be okay. Like
Long is long. At the pace you're running, your race are never long. Let me tell you that.
yeah, I'm trying to slow down. Good old zone 2. I need to definitely be better at that. But yeah, I'm competitive with myself, and I recently trained. I spoke about my neighbor, but she had a marathon and she signs up for a lot of races. And I kind of tagged along in her marathon training when she needed me. I was like, wow, what gift it is to just be able to put on some shoes, run the 33K that I did with her, be in her company, be talking the entire time, and then for her to then go and like crush a race. Like I was kind of like in the back seat, and I was just there to support her, and that was awesome. And I was fine with that. And I can't say that I was like, oh, now I need to sign up for a race. I'm just like, I'm really in that stage of like, I'm good. Like I don't necessarily need like
you did. I don't want to like correct me if I'm wrong, but you had your glory. Like you did it. You reach the top, right?
Yeah.
So after that, you're just like, I'm good.
I'm good.
I've done it.
And
I'm happy with it.
There's a lot of people that are not and that can't accept that fact. But I've really accepted it. And I think my entourage knows that I was ready to take a step back, and I had other things. Like my identity is not solely tied to sports. It's not solely tied to sports. It's how I show up for my friends, how I show up for my husband, how I show up for my family, and how I perform at work. And there's so many different facets to who I am and to life in general that I think that's why I'm really content to be in this place that I am.
It's really interesting. No, but it's the fact that you seem in peace with the whole moving forward, right?
Definitely. And
but we'll see you on a marathon, right? Or IROX or an ultra.
Yeah,
What's the next step?
I'm saying all this,
I want a
and
commitment.
I'm like,
I want a commitment.
There
today.
is my best friend's fiance, soon to be husband, is signing up for the Toronto full marathon, and my neighbor is running the half marathon. So now I have two, and I'm not good at peer pressure. Obviously, it depends what type of peer pressure. But if I have a couple of people telling me, oh, you should do this, then I'm like,
maybe.
Okay.
I think Chris is doing the full, right? So that could be
easy.
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. So maybe there's something there.
Okay. So do you think tomorrow's run I can push him to do more than 10 kilometers?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. A half would be appropriate.
Awesome. Cool. We'll make it happen.
If you with all your knowledge and now that you're coaching as well, if you had to go back to the young Fred, early days or early high school, and you have an advice, like one advice for her, what would it be to your younger self?
One advice
knowing
to my
all that you know
younger
today.
self. Trust yourself. Trust your gut feeling. There was so much like noise sometimes when I was just like, growing up and doubting myself and being not sure of things. Trust yourself. Like if you have a gut feeling, if you have a bad feeling about something, set those boundaries. Pull away. Say no. And saying no is such a work on still. So I would say don't be afraid to, like, comes back to assertiveness. Saying no takes courage.
Yeah.
No is not necessarily in my vocabulary, and it's still a work on. So I'm like, if I could say that to my younger self, to like trust yourself, learn to take a step back when it's needed. But I think that comes with maturity too. Do you find, did you have trouble like?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think I have that issue.
Yeah. It depends on personalities, I guess.
I don't really care about opinion of others of me. So if it doesn't fit, I don't.
Yeah.
I used to care, but it only gets you so far, right?
So
at some point you're just like,
unapologetic. You are who you are, and you're like just such a confident person. But I would like to say zero arrogance, which is hard to get that, like that perfect middle of being a confident, not a, like,
I'll
just
take that.
doing,
But you know what? I think one of my strength is that I really know who I am. So I'm not playing anybody else. I know my strength. So if there's something comes up and I'm not gonna fake, like
right.
I'm not gonna pretend, right? And I think that's a big part of my role at work as well, right? I'm just who I am, and I think that stands out because I'm not pretending to be anybody else. When I'm running, I do a lot of running. I do a lot of races. I did a lot of long distance race, but I don't pretend to be like, you won't see me in the first quartile or on the top 10. You'll see me probably at the bottom 10. But I'll finish the race, but I'll be there, and I'm really comfortable being there, right?
And amazing. And you'll be you're having fun, and you'll be happy with your performance, and it'll be fulfilling for you, which is just awesome. Yeah.
Friend,
this is it.
This is it.
Time flew by.
I'm really happy you came.
Thanks for the invite. This was
it stressful?
Not very. No, because you're so good at this. You make people feel at ease, and
it was really interesting. I know it's uncomfortable being in that seat because we're talking about you and everything.
It's almost like a therapy. So I'm glad you. It's rare that you.
I'm
can
not
have
charging.
Those
I'm not charging. Anybody interested? I'm not charging. No, but you did.
But talk about those topics and all. It's it was very fun. Thanks for having me.
You killed it. Your resume is impressive. I'm happy to be in your circle. Congrats on everything you accomplish, and I'll try to run faster. So at one point
we'll go running, OG.
Yeah, it's gonna be you, Chris, and myself, just like screaming at the end. But seriously, thank you for being here. It's really, really cool.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.